Students, in last lecture we have studied the cancer disorder and related to that how this cancer is formed, what are the types of cancers, causes of cancers, and how the cancer is diagnosed, which are different groups of cancers that we have studied in last lecture. In today's lecture we have studied here how to treat the cancer, the treatment of cancer, how this cancer is treated. There are different techniques which are used to treat the cancer, though it is incurable disease in most of the cases. In some cases it is curable, means in benign tumor case the complete cure is shown, but in case of malignant tumor there is no cure, so we have to treat the cancer. So first technique to treat the cancer here is the radiation therapy. As you know, the different types of radiations, different types of rays are used to minimize the size of tumor of the cancer, to destroy the cancerous tumor or to destroy the tumor present in the body. And in that radiation therapy, different rays are used here. So for the treatment, the cancer tissue cells are exposed to radiations from radioactive material such as cobalt, iridium and iodine. There are different radioactive substances which are emitting radiations. So here cobalt, iridium and iodine, these are some radioactive substances which are releasing radiations from them, and these radiations are used to destroy the cancerous cell, and that technique is called as here the radiation therapy. And here the other rays, that is X-rays, gamma rays and some charged particles which are used to destroy the cancerous tissue or cells, but they are causing minimum damage to the surrounding normal tissues or cells. Means there are some side effects of this radiation therapy. In that X-rays, gamma rays and some charged particles which are used to destroy the cancerous cells, they are having less side effect to the surrounding cell. Otherwise, when we are using radiations to destroy the cancerous cells, those radiations are going to be affect to the surrounding normal cells. म्हणजे काय होतं की कॅन्सरस सेल बरोबरच आपले सराउंडिंग जे चांगले सेल्स असतात त्याच्यावरती सुद्धा त्याचा इफेक्ट होऊ शकतो. त्यामुळं रेडिएशन थेरपी ही काही प्रमाणामध्ये योग्य आहे, परंतु काही प्रमाणामध्ये अदर नॉर्मल सेलला जर ते अफेक्ट होत असेल तर त्याच्यामुळे धोका निर्माण होऊ शकतो. सो हिअर फॉर एक्झाम्पल कॅन्सर्स ऑफ स्किन, कॅन्सर्स ऑफ युरिनरी ब्लॅडर अँड कॅन्सर्स ऑफ सर्विक्स, सर्वायकल कॅन्सर म्हणजे गर्भाशयाचं कॅन्सर म्हणलं जातं, इथं मूत्राशयाचं कॅन्सर म्हणलं जातं, आणि स्किन कॅन्सर, या वेगवेगळ्या टाईपमध्ये आपण रेडिएशन थेरपीचा वापर करू शकतो. बिकॉज देअर इज अ लोकल कॅन्सर or there is a benign tumor, and therefore this radiation technique is used in case of skin cancer, cervical cancer, or you can say here urinary bladder cancer. So this is the first technique, radiation technique. Now second is the surgical method. It induces here removal of cancerous part by operative method. If the benign tumor or benign cancer is there, then we have to use the surgical method, that is we have to make operation to remove that cancerous tumor or to remove that lumps formed in the body. So it is very easy method to remove the cancerous cells or to remove the tumor by surgical method. Now third here is the chemotherapy. There are different types of chemicals which are used to suppress the tumorous growth in the body, and these different chemicals are used in this treatment, and that therapy is called as a chemotherapy. It includes the use of anti-cancerous drugs to kill the cancerous cells by damaging the DNA of that cancer or interfering the DNA synthesis of that cancerous cells. As we know, during cell division or during cell growth, DNA synthesis is taking place, as we have studied in 11th science cell division chapter. In that cell cycle, there is G1, G1, G0, G1, G2 and M phase are there, and in that G1 and G2 phase, growth first and growth second, you have studied there is synthesis of DNA. and when DNA synthesis takes place, the cell grows and cell multiplies. So here, to stop the DNA synthesis, we have to stop the cancerous cell growth, and for that we are using here the anti-cancerous drugs which are killing or destroying the cancerous cells, affecting, and these are destroying the cells by damaging the DNA of those cancerous cells and by interfering the DNA synthesis functioning in that cancerous cells. So when we use these anti-cancerous drugs, these drugs are damage DNA of that cancerous cell or DNA synthesis of that cancerous cells, and therefore those cancerous cells are not show cell division, not show cell growth, and there is no formation of tumor. So in this case, these chemicals are used. Here the different drugs which are used as anti-cancerous, the names are given: alkylating agents, anti-metabolites, anti-tumor antibiotics, and plant alkaloids like vincristine and vinblastine. So these are the different chemicals which are used as anti-cancerous chemicals: alkylating agents, anti-metabolites, anti-tumor antibiotics, and some plant alkaloids. Some plants are secreting some special types of chemicals which are called as alkaloids, and these alkaloids are vincristine and vinblastine. It is particularly occurred in कॅथॅरॅन्थस रोझस और विन्का रोझिया. सदाफुलीचं झाड आपल्याला माहिती आहे. that सदाफुली is having anti-cancerous property chemical, and that is called as vincristine and vinblastine. So all these chemicals are used to treat the cancer, and it is included in the chemotherapy. Next, here immunotherapy means there are different antibodies which are used to treat the cancer, and that technique is called as immunotherapy. Tumor cells have been shown to avoid detection and destruction by immune system, and therefore the patients are given substances called as biological response modifiers such as alpha interferon, which activates their immune system and helps in destroying the tumor. Means our immune system is having ability to destroy the cancer cells, but we have to use some special types of immune modulators. Means we have to modify our immune system to destroy the cancer cells, and for that there are some special biological response modifiers or some immune modifiers you can say, such as alpha interferon. This is a alpha interferon is a immune modifier, means it is having ability to modify our immune system which are able to destroying the cancerous cells, and therefore here in immunotherapy some special biological response modifiers are used such as alpha interferon, which is giving or which is modifying our immune system and which is helping the destruction of cancerous cells. So in immunotherapy this alpha interferon is particularly used to modify our immune system. Okay, so here again supportive therapy means along with radiation therapy, along with chemotherapy, along with surgical method, and along with immunotherapy, we have to use some supportive methods to treat the cancer, and these are here the hormone therapy and gene therapy. Means we have to introduce some special hormones which are suppressing the cancerous activity of the cells, or we have to introduce some genes in the body which are able to suppress the growth of cell or the growth of cancerous tumor. Means here some hormones or some genes are used to treat the cancer, and therefore these therapies are called as a hormone therapy and gene therapy. But this is supportive therapy. The main therapies we have to use, that is radiation therapy or chemotherapy or immunotherapy or surgical method, and supportingly we have to use here hormone therapy and gene therapy. Okay, so these are the different techniques which are used to treat the cancer. So here the question related to the cancer which is asked in 2012 here: which one of the following is not a property of cancerous cells whereas the remaining three are? कोणती प्रॉपर्टी कॅन्सरस सेलमध्ये नाही, बाकीच्या आहेत. सो दे कम्पीट विथ नॉर्मल सेल्स फॉर व्हायटल न्यूट्रिएंट्स, they do not remain confined in the area of formation, they divide in an uncontrolled manner, and last they show contact inhibition. ह्या चारपैकी कोणती प्रॉपर्टी कॅन्सरस सेलमध्ये नसते असं विचारलेलं आहे, बाकीच्या 3 असतात. सो कॅन यू गेस द आन्सर? सो सी हिअर फर्स्ट सेंटेन्स, दे कॉम्पीट विथ नॉर्मल सेल्स फॉर व्हायटल न्यूट्रिएंट. इफ द कॅन्सरस सेल्स आर प्रेझेंट इन आवर बॉडी, दे मेक कॉम्पिटिशन with the surrounding cells to get the nutrients from them. So this is the right for cancerous cells. Next, they do not remain confined in the area of formation. Means they are not remaining in a particular area where they are formed. They are distributing to other areas, and therefore it is also true about cancerous cells. They divide in an uncontrolled manner. Means they show division and redivision in uncontrolled manner. It is also true about the cancerous cells. The last here, they show contact inhibition. Though is the cancerous cell is showing contact inhibition property, as we have seen the first point of the cancer, normal cells are showing the property of contact inhibition, means they are showing restricted growth. But when these cells are losing the contact inhibition property, those cells are converted into cancerous cells and they are forming uncontrolled cell division or uncontrolled growth. So here the fourth option is not true about the cancerous cell. So here we can see here this fourth option is the correct answer, means they show contact inhibition. This property is not present in the cancerous cells. Okay, I hope you understand what is the meaning. Now the next disorder or the next disease we can see here is the AIDS, acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. AIDS, which is caused by a virus which is known as HIV virus, human immunodeficiency virus. This virus is responsible to make our immune system deficient, means it is infecting our immunity system, and due to which the immunity system of the person's body is becoming very low, and therefore that person may get affected or infected by number of pathogens, creating number of symptoms. That particular disease is called as a acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. Why it is called as a syndrome? Because it is showing variety of symptoms, and therefore it is called as a syndrome. Acquired immunodeficiency, because it is acquired in our body. Why it is acquired? Due to immune deficiency. इम्युनिटी सिस्टीम जी आहे ती आपल्या शरीरामधली काय होते, कमी होते, आणि त्याच्यामुळे आपल्याला हा डिसीज झालेला बघायला मिळतो. म्हणून ह्या डिसीजचं नाव काय आहे? acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, AIDS. We can call it as AIDS. So here the causative agent for this AIDS is a ssRNA virus. You have to remember that ssRNA virus means single stranded RNA virus. As you know, there are different types of viruses: animal viruses, plant viruses, bacterial viruses, as you have seen in the 11th science chapter. So here this virus is having single stranded RNA, and therefore it is called as ssRNA virus, and it is belonging to a special type of group of virus that is called as a retrovirus. So you have to also remember that HIV virus is belonging to a group of virus which is called as a retrovirus group. What is mean by retrovirus? Here this retrovirus means a group of virus which is having RNA in their RNA as a genetic material, and it is inserting a DNA copy of their genome into the host cell. So this type of virus group is called as a retrovirus, means it is having RNA in its genetic material in its body, but it is inserting its DNA copy in the host cell, and that type of group is called as a retrovirus, means it is making RNA into DNA, and then that DNA of that virus is getting inserted into the host cell, and it is called as a retrovirus group. So here HIV, human immunodeficiency virus, which weakens the body's immune system. Human immunodeficiency virus, HIV, because it is particularly weakening our immunity system, and therefore it is called as HIV, human immunodeficiency virus. So this is the name. Retrovirus means any group of RNA viruses which is inserting a DNA copy of their genome into the host cell in order to replicate. Means what happens, we have to see the next point, how that RNA is getting converted into DNA. For that, which mechanism is taking place in that RNA virus, that we have to see in the next point. Till then, you have to only remember that retrovirus is a group of virus having RNA in its genome, but they are inserting a DNA copy in the host cell to replicate. That you have to understand. म्हणजे हा RNA व्हायरसचा असा ग्रुप आहे की ज्याच्यामध्ये जेनेटिक मटेरियल हे RNAच्या फॉर्ममध्ये असतं, पण ज्यावेळेला ते इन्फेक्शन करतात एखाद्या होस्ट सेलला, त्यावेळेला मात्र ते DNAची कॉपी काय करतात, त्याच्यामध्ये इन्सर्ट करतात रेप्लिकेशनसाठी. हे कसं होतं हे आपण नंतरच्या पॉईंटमध्ये बघणार आहे. आता रेट्रोव्हायरस म्हणजे काय एवढं लक्षात ठेवा तुम्ही. So here AIDS was first noticed in USA in 1981, and in India it is firstly confirmed case of AIDS was in April 1986, that is from Tamil Nadu. 1981 साली पहिला रुग्ण अमेरिकेमध्ये सापडलेला आहे आणि भारतामध्ये 1986 मध्ये तमिळनाडूमध्ये हा एड्सचा रुग्ण आपल्याला सापडलेला बघायला मिळतो. ओके, सो हियर वी हॅव टू सी द नेक्स्ट पॉईंट अबाउट दिस एड्स. So first of all we have to see here the structure of HIV. This HIV virus is having which structure? The RNA is present in its genome, and other remaining structure that we have to see the structure of HIV. So HIV is 100 to 100 nanometer in diameter, and it is spherical. It is having the diameter that is in 100 to 140 nanometer. It shows centrally placed two strands of single-stranded RNA molecules along with the reverse transcriptase enzymes. Means in its inner cavity of the inner body of this virus, it is having two strands of single-stranded RNA molecules and two molecules of reverse transcriptase enzyme. Now here reverse transcriptase enzyme, what is the function of reverse transcriptase? त्याच्यासाठी आपल्याला एक पॉईंट बघावं लागेल की व्हेन प्रोटीन सिंथेसिस टेक्स प्लेस, व्हॉट इज द प्रोसेस यू हॅव टू स्टडी इन द फर्स्ट सेक्शन्स टॉपिक, जीन, इट्स नेचर, एक्सप्रेशन अँड रेग्युलेशन. सो इन दॅट यू हॅव टू स्टडी, बट टिल आय एम टेलिंग यू सम पॉईंट्स हियर. DNA transcription takes place into RNA and RNA transcribed into mRNA. DNA transcribed into mRNA and mRNA translate into protein. That is the process of protein synthesis. DNA पासून mRNA तयार होतो आणि mRNA पासून प्रोटीन तयार होतो. याच्यामध्ये DNA to mRNA is process is called as a transcription, and that enzyme playing role for conversion of DNA to RNA is transcriptase enzyme. And when RNA is converted into DNA, that process is called as a reverse transcription, because here transcription is taking place but it is in reverse manner, that is RNA is converted into DNA. See here what can I say? DNA to RNA it is called as a transcription, but when RNA is converted into DNA it is called as a reverse transcription. So here this HIV virus is having RNA as a genetic material, but this RNA is getting converted into DNA with the help of enzyme reverse transcriptase, and for that this HIV virus is having two molecules of reverse transcriptase enzyme, because it is having two single stranded RNA molecules. Okay, so these are the 2 points here. Now it is covered by 2 layers of proteins, means in central part of this virus 2 RNA molecules single stranded and 2 transcriptase molecules are present. Surrounding to that central genetic material 2 layers of proteins are present. The outer layer is of matrix protein P17 and inner layer is called as a capsid protein P24. Means around that 2 protein layers are present. Outer matrix layer is called as P17 and inner capsid protein is called as a P24. And around that protein layer, around that outer matrix protein layer, there is an additional layer of lipids. As you know, the viruses are showing lipoproteinous covering. We can call this as a capsid. So here, inner two protein layers are present, outer matrix layer P17 and inner capsid layer P24, and around the outer matrix layer P17 additional layer of lipids is present, and this lipids is combined with, that is impregnate with glycoprotein GP120 and GP41, means that lipid is having glycoprotein around that lipid layer, and two types of glycoproteins are present, GP120 and GP41. So this is the structure of HIV, and the virus replicates in actively dividing T4 lymphocytes and can remain a latent stage, or that is called as an incubation stage, in the lymphoid cells. After infection, these viruses are showing infection to particularly T4 lymphocytes, that means the A granulotype of WBC lymphocyte, T4 lymphocytes which are present in our body, those are getting infected by this virus, and then these are replicating in these T4 lymphocytes, and they remain as it is in latent stage or latent state in the lymphoid cells. So here the virus has unique ability to destroy the human T4 lymphocytes. The HIV virus is the only group of virus which is having ability to destroy the human T4 lymphocytes. That you have to remember. Now the diagrammatic structure of HIV virus we have to see here. So these are the single stranded RNA molecules. This is the first RNA molecule, this is the second RNA molecule, and in that here we have to see the reverse transcriptase enzyme molecules. So these are the reverse transcriptase enzyme molecules. This is the central part of virus showing two protein coatings. This is the inner capsid protein. So this is the name, inner capsid protein, and this is orange colored here is the outer matrix protein, outer. So blue colored is the inner matrix, inner capsid protein, and orange colored is the outer matrix protein, and around that outer matrix protein lipid layer is present. So this is the lipid layer or lipid coating, and this lipid coating is having two types of glycoproteins. This larger glycoprotein is GP41 and this is smaller glycoprotein is GP120. So this lipid layer is showing presence of two types of glycoproteins on the surface. So this is the structure of HIV virus. This HIV virus is having single stranded RNA molecules, along with that transcriptase, a reverse transcriptase enzyme, two protein coats, inner capsid protein, outer matrix protein, and surrounding lipid layer which is combined with two glycoproteins. So this is all about the structure of HIV virus. So here, related to the structure of HIV virus, one question is asked in 2016 second phase exam. Which of the following is correct regarding AIDS positive agent HIV? So first here, HIV is enveloped virus containing one molecule of single stranded RNA and one molecule of reverse transcriptase. Second, HIV is enveloped virus containing two identical molecules of single stranded RNA and two molecules of reverse transcriptase. Third, HIV is unenveloped retrovirus, and fourth, HIV does not escape but attacks the acquired immune response. So what is the correct answer? Can you guess the answer? So here the B option is the correct answer. HIV containing two identical molecules of single stranded RNA and two molecules of reverse transcriptase. So this is the correct answer. Others are incorrect answers. Now the another question which is asked, HIV has a protein coat and a genetic material which is HIV having protein coating and genetic material is in the form of single stranded DNA, single stranded RNA, double stranded RNA, double stranded DNA. So here answer is the single stranded RNA. So B option is the correct answer. Now we have to see the next point where the HIV particles are present. So here presence of HIV particles in our body, at which different locations in our body the HIV particles are present. So here you can see HIV is found in the greatest concentration in blood. Most concentration of the HIV particles is present in our blood. Then semen and cerebrospinal fluid. Cerebrospinal fluid, as you know, is present around our brain and around our spinal cord. CSF we have seen in the control coordination topic. Semen means it is a fluid which is ejaculated or excreted out by a male during the copulation. During sexual intercourse, a fluid is thrown outside the male's body and that is called as a semen. And lesser content in tears, milk, urine, saliva, cervical and vaginal secretion. लेसर कॉन्सन्ट्रेशनमध्ये तो कुठे कुठं बघायला मिळतो बघा, टीयर्स म्हणजे आपल्या डोळ्यातले अश्रू जे आहेत त्याच्यामध्ये, त्यानंतर मिल्क, युरिन, सलायवा, सर्वायकल अँड वजायनल सिक्रेशन इन फिमेल बॉडी. इन फिमेल बॉडी द सर्विक्स दॅट इज गर्भाशय आपण त्याला म्हणतो, तो सो दॅट सर्वायकल सिक्रेशन ऑर दॅट वजायनल सिक्रेशन इट इज द फिमेल रिप्रोडक्टिव्ह ऑर्गन्स. थ्रू दॅट सम सिक्रेशन्स आर ऑलवेज सिक्रेटेड and in that secretions the HIV particles are present but in lesser concentration. They are present in higher concentration in blood, in semen and in cerebrospinal fluid. That you have to remember. These three locations are there in our body which is showing higher concentration of these HIV particles. So these are the presence of HIV particles. Now the source of HIV infection, how this HIV infection is taking place, what are the different sources of HIV infection. So here infected person is the main source of HIV infection. Those persons which are having HIV infection are the main sources, and then from that only blood, semen, vaginal secretion and breast milk are generally transmitting the infection to the others. From that infected person, either that is male or female, from those persons only semen, blood, vaginal secretion and breast milk. These are the four different sources which are spreading infection of HIV. Blood, and we can see here semen, and in female we can see blood, vaginal secretion and breast milk. Means in case of male, blood and semen are the two sources of this HIV infection, and in case of female we can observe here blood, vaginal secretion and breast milk. These are three the sources of the HIV infection. So here mode of transmission, how this HIV is getting transmitted from one person to other person. So first here is the sexual contact. While the sexual contact with an infected person or HIV positive person, the HIV infection is spreading from one person to other person. So this is the mode of transmission first. Then blood contact, blood transfusion from the infected person or the carrier person. If while blood transfusion we have to check either that blood is HIV positive or HIV negative. If that blood is having HIV particles, then that is transmitting the HIV particles to other person. Then through unsterilized medical instruments, means we are sharing razors, toothbrushes, syringes, needles along with the infected person, and use of surgical equipments during the operations. We have to first sterilize all these equipments during the operations or while using in our house, or razor or toothbrushes which are related to the blood contamination. Those instruments are not to be used when they are using, and if that person is having HIV infection, and if suppose razor used by that person is used by another person, toothbrush used by that person is used by another person, there may be spreading of this HIV virus takes place. So these are the different mode of transmission. Then from infected mother to the fetus, transplacental. If suppose a mother is having HIV positive and if that is having a child or fetus, then from placenta these HIV particles may get transferred and that fetus may get the infection of HIV. So this is the another method. Carrier or infected mother transmit the virus through placenta during pregnancy or during breastfeeding after the pregnancy. Means during pregnancy through placenta the HIV infection is taking place, or after delivery while breastfeeding ज्यावेळेला दूध पाजणार असते आई त्यावेळेला जर आईला HIV झालेला असेल तर आईकडून त्या बाळाला होऊ शकतो. हा आपल्याला इथे सोर्स सांगता येईल. अँड अदर मेथड्स, ॲक्सिडेंटल निडल इंजुरी, माहीत नसताना चुकून एखाद्याला इंजेक्शन दिलं आणि तीच सुई आपण दुसऱ्याला इंजेक्शन द्यायला वापरलं, ॲक्सिडेंटल निडल इंजुरी or artificial insemination with infected donated semen. There are some couples which are no children, and in that case artificial insemination process is used. म्हणजेच सिमेन, जसं ब्लड आपण साठवून ठेवतो तसं सिमेन साठवून ठेवलं जातं, विच आर हॅव्हिंग मेल गॅमेट्स, अँड दॅट सिमेन इज आर्टिफिशियली इंट्रोड्युस्ड इन द फिमेल्स बॉडी, अँड व्हेन दॅट सिमेन इज हॅव्हिंग HIV इन्फेक्शन, then through artificial insemination process that HIV infection may spread to other persons. And here organ transplantation with infected organ, when some persons are having HIV infection and the organs from that HIV positive patients are to be transplanted in another person, those methods also showing transmission of HIV. So these are the different ways of transmission of HIV from one person to other person, that is sexual contact, blood contact through unsterilized medical instrument, from mother to fetus, and from these are different methods. Now non transmitting ways of AIDS, म्हणजे कोणत्या कारणामुळे एड्स होत नाही किंवा HIVचं इन्फेक्शन होत नाही हे सुद्धा समजून घेणं गरजेचं आहे. कारण आजकाल समाजामध्ये आपण बघतोय की एड्स झाला आहे म्हणजे त्याला समाज वाळीत टाकतो, परंतु काही गोष्टी आहेत की ज्याच्यामुळे एड्सचा प्रसार होत नाही, इन्फेक्शन होत नाही. त्या कोणत्या वेज आहेत? सो हिअर एड्स इज नॉट ट्रान्समिटेड थ्रू एअर, फूड, वॉटर, मॉस्किटो बाईट, सोशल कॅज्युअल कॉन्टॅक्ट विथ पेशंट ऑर शेअरिंग क्लोथ्स, युटेन्सिल्स एक्सेट्रा. मीन्स दिस HIV इन्फेक्शन इज नॉट स्प्रेड बाय एअर, फूड, वॉटर ऑर मॉस्किटो बाईट. म्हणजे HIV झालेल्या माणसाला डास चावला आणि तो जर आपल्याला चावला तर त्याच्यातून इन्फेक्शन स्प्रेड होणार नाही. अँड इफ सपोज वी आर हॅव्हिंग कॅज्युअल कॉन्टॅक्ट, म्हणजे त्या पेशंटच्या हातामध्ये हात दिला आपण, त्याच्या शेजारी जेवायला बसलो, त्याच्या काही गोष्टी आपण वापरल्या, तरी त्याच्यामधून इन्फेक्शन स्प्रेड होत नाही. हे आपल्याला इथं समजून घ्यायचं आहे. ओनली इट इज ट्रान्समिटेड थ्रू ब्लड ऑर थ्रू सेक्शुअल सिक्रिशन्स. दीज आर दी टू मेन methods of transmission of HIV particles from one person to other person, that we have to remember. So these are the different points related to HIV. We have seen the structure of HIV, sources of HIV particle, and modes of transmission. The remaining parts related to HIV infection or the symptoms, diagnosis, treatment, that we have to study in the next lecture. Till then, thank you.